Studio B. This is your day-to-day BYU sports play-by-play alongside Jarom Jordan. I am Spencer Linton, and we welcome onto the desk now the voice of the Cougars, Greg Wrubell, to discuss an unparalleled situation. Greg, let's just start with your general reaction to the course of events over the last 24 hours as it pertains to professional and major collegiate sports.
Maybe a good preface would be that I'm an athletic department employee, but nothing I'm about to say represents the department in any way. These are my opinions as a broadcaster and as an observer and as a fan and a supporter of BYU. But from a department standpoint, that's not what I'm here to talk about. But I just finished, I just came from downstairs in my office and I was watching both the U.S. news programs, the U.S. sports programs, the Sports Center types, and Sky Sports News from the U.K. And what you're watching is the sports world wind down. It's very surreal. And it's every sport. I just watched updates on tennis, rugby, golf, basketball, baseball, soccer. It's all happening across every participation, every competition right now. It's consistent, kind of across the board in terms of what people are choosing to do right now. And I did actually just duck into the St. John's Creighton game because the Big East is the one tournament still playing games right now that are being televised. And it's interesting because and they kept the views of the camera rather narrow to the court. You weren't seeing a lot of, obviously there's no crowd to see. They were keeping it pretty isolated. But the bands and the cheer groups were making as much noise as humanly possible to give some sense of normalcy. It's really not, but they were doing the best they could to, give the players a boost, to make it seem somewhat routine, where it's really not.
Let's talk about the NCAA tournament. Right now, it's going to be played with no fans, limited family in attendance and whatnot. Do you expect the NCAA tournament to go off?
I don't know what to say to that. I just know that if you go hour by hour the way it is right now, things are trending a certain direction, and nobody would blame anyone for taking an overly cautious approach right now. So, and and it could be that the approach they take, and it's entirely speculative, is an indefinite postponement, and let's maybe let things settle, like the NBA is doing. Basically, you're suspending the season to allow things to settle a little bit, and maybe flatten the curve, as they say in the world of disease tracking and kind of the social study of this whole thing. But either way, I'm not going to sit here and say this puts things in perspective, because I hate when people say that. We know what real life is and what sports life is. There shouldn't need to be this need of, where this puts it all in perspective. But we are here because we cover sports, and from a sports standpoint, it's sad what's going on. From a BYU standpoint, specific to this team, oh gosh, it would be so hard to not have them see the reward of the season they just played and the things they just went through and are still going through. That'd be sad. It's sports sad. We know what real life's about. We don't need to, create too great a distinction there between the two. But from a sports standpoint, yeah, it'd be really, really tough to take that it doesn't have the payoff. Because this is a, once in a decade, once in every 20 years type team. You're the best three-point shooting team in the country. You've got some of the best scorers in the country together. There's seniors that are finally together. Special things were happening, and right now it's all on hold.
And it'd be interesting, too, because we've had delays of sorts, but perhaps nothing like this. Obviously, when 9/11 happened, BYU's game in 2001 was pushed back, after the regular season played at Mississippi State. Mm-hmm. And there were fires in San Diego where BYU played San Diego State a later date, right? But this is certainly unique in terms of they may not play at all, or if they do play, it's way later. So this is certainly unprecedented in that regard.
Yeah, nothing to really compare it to. And again, you most quickly flash back to 9/11, but it was a very temporary window of time, relatively speaking. And depending on who is giving you the advice right now, this could be a weeks to months type situation until things get to a point where they feel it's more or less under control, if you will. And among the ironies here is that relative to let's just isolate it to the NCAA tournament or young athletes in general, the population group perhaps least likely to become seriously ill is most affected by the pandemic that requires everything to kind of halt. Right now, children and youth have generally been spared the effects of this illness. Thankfully, and not that there's any one group of population that's any more valued than any other, but it's interesting how how the disease has actually progressed within a population.
Greg Wrubell, the voice of the Cougars, with us on BYU Sports Nation. I've had my conversations with certain coaches and athletes, and I'm sure Jarom has as well, and you. What do you think the general consensus and overall feel of the BYU athletic department is based on the interactions that you've had over the past 24 hours?
I haven't had many, actually. I've just kind of been watching and observing and waiting. So I don't know what the decision makers are really thinking right now. I've had a little bit of communication within the basketball program, but it's been more about what was to come, not about what's not happening right now.
It's interesting because BYU does have a baseball game tonight. So they have some decisions to make. And we learned at the top of the segment that the Pac12 has suspended all sports. So BYU is not playing Stanford in volleyball Friday night on the road. And, I've got a rugby match tomorrow night I'm wondering about in Major League Rugby, right? There's all kinds of questions, but it's certainly interesting. And it almost feels like if you do, the Big Sky has said they're playing. The Big East is still going. St. John's up 19-18, right? It's interesting to see who's playing and who's why, who isn't and who's not, and what that means, and large gatherings moving forward. What is an appropriate group at this time to get? Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of unanswered questions.
No, it depends from jurisdiction to jurisdiction right now in terms of what they've determined large. Some have said 250, others 1,000. So yeah, it's all very much wide open right now, and there are decisions to be made really relatively quickly, right? There will be a lot of people. First of all, a lot of people already did make travel plans. Have already spent money to get to games that may or may not be played. But things were really going to ramp up on the weekend when these teams were supposed to find out their destinations and put wheels in motion. And so things are in pretty short order going to have to clarify before the wheels of this machine, the March Madness machine, start in motion, which hasn't happened.
Which is like $1 billion decision, which is pretty wild, right?
I'm glad you brought up the term sports sad, because there are two very different lines there. Yes, there is life sad and there is sports sad. And I know that BYU fans in general, along with the team, would be extremely disappointed to not see any type of payoff. I am of the opinion that the committee, if they decided to seed the teams, I would be in favor of it. At least I want some type of payoff, like, oh, this is what it would have been. Are you of the opinion that if they cancel it, they should just stop all transmission of anything? Or would you like to see what BYU would have been in the situation if the tournament had been played?
What do you mean?
Do you want to see the bracket?
Do you want to know what matchup they would have had? What seed that they would have been given?
Would that make it worse?
I don't know if they would get to that point. I don't know if they would actually get to that point. Having canceled tournaments, I guess you would base it on regular season standings, and it might be interesting. It might be a trivial footnote, but I'm not even sure they'd even go that far if nothing were to happen. Haven't thought about that.
Now, as in terms of postponing it, what would you think about a situation where they take a month off and they say, okay, things have calmed down, now we can actually do this thing with limited fans? Or would you be in favor of something like that in April or even into early May?
I guess if they were to get to a point where they figured they could do things safely and appropriately, I hope it all happens anyway somehow. I don't know if that's as likely a hope as it was even 2 hours ago, let alone 2 days ago. Yeah. That said, life kind of has to go. School's going to end, exams are going to be taken. Players with professional aspirations are going to want to explore that side of their life moving forward. Just the continuity of staffs and players and practice, and how apt would everybody be to just pick up and play in a month, if not this weekend? Could it really be done? Questions have never really been asked before. In a way, you could argue football already does that. With the bowl season, you take a month off, right? The season ends, you break for a month, you practice some, and then you play again. So, there's precedent. It happens that way in football.
And baseball bleeds into May already, kind of anyway, outside the academic year.
Beyond the academic year, yeah. It's more about the timing of a particular basketball player's, personal calendar as it relates to either graduation or professional pursuits, I think.
Right. And I think all of our calendars are being adjusted in some way, right? So it wouldn't just be basketball per se.
Yeah, and I'm fascinated to see how this affects professional drafts. The NFL draft has become a wild event in and of itself, and the NBA draft doesn't happen too long after that. So,
the NBA season may take the draft right out of the equation.
Exactly.
If they choose to pick up where they left off, if not truncate the season, that could change everything. We are in super uncharted territory in every possible way with every sport, and it's just clearly and truly unprecedented in every. Again, it's one. We've seen things isolated to sometimes teams or leagues. This is the world of sport, and this is the world population beyond sport. It's it's a global pandemic. This is not limited in scope by any stretch, and it's exponential in a lot of ways. And so these are, just unbelievably surreal times.
The Big Sky just canceled, by the way, and
it's the Big East, and that's it.
The Big East. Is,
I'm not even sure this game will. I mean, they might get to halftime and say, you know what? Let's be real. Who knows?
So what happened yesterday was wild, right? So Rudy Gobert is the first NBA player to get a positive coronavirus test. Bang! League shuts down. If the NCAA doesn't make the decision today already to not play or at least postpone, all it takes is a player, in my opinion, an amateur getting
or a coach or a referee.
Which last night we had a situation with Fred Hoiberg where he was sick on the bench, and we thought, oh man, what is he doing out there? He had been tested. He didn't have corona, wanted to still coach the game, but no one really knew that until later. That was an interesting situation as well, where he left the game before it was over, and it was like, whoa, what's going on? We got a guy sick out at a game, right?
It's interesting when you extrapolate to general populations. You have maybe the world's most famous actor. You have one of the NBA's most accomplished players. You have the Prime Minister of Canada, not tested positive yet, but self-isolating for fear of it. He came back from the UK. His wife felt ill. She's been tested, no results back. But he said, in abundance of caution, I'm going to stay at home. I'm going to self-isolate. So we're seeing every segment of population with notable representatives taking precautions right now and making plans. And the sports world is simply following suit.
And we haven't seen and what's wild about this, it's not like you can identify the coronavirus person. Oh, there they are. It's really hard, right? And BYU did put out something while we were down in Vegas at the West Coast Conference that, okay, someone tested positive that was at the game, right? But there hasn't been a lot of fallout from that, luckily. And incubation period being about 5 days. You'll know within 5 days or whatever. So the good news is it didn't seem like that at the moment.
And as you've been sharing with your your graphics have shared as well, and I'm sure you have verbally, this is a recoverable illness for most people. Most segments of the population will have it and then get through it and continue on. It's only a small segment that will be most at risk to becoming seriously ill.
Yeah, and how many people have had it or do have it right now and aren't showing any symptoms at all, don't even know?
So it's something that is survivable, clearly, for the vast segment of the population, but for concern for the most at risk, what America is trying to do right now is what they call flatten the curve and make it so that the rise isn't so sharp that you have to basically lock down a country like we've seen in places like Italy. You try to prevent that.
Yeah.
I say this tongue-in-cheek. Maybe it's time to renew my Xbox Live account, link up with you guys so that we can...
so you could self-quarantine.
Self-quarantine and play some video games and hope for the best. I mean, this is...
There's a certain TV show I want you to watch. And
I know about that one. And I've got some books that need reading at the house, too.
Yeah.
That's a great way to spend the time, for sure. Greg, we appreciate you coming on in a very unique and, in a lot of ways, difficult situation. So we appreciate the time.
Yeah, no, it's been fun to commiserate and in a lot of ways just share thoughts and feelings on something that is so unprecedented and puts us in a really interesting and unique position in our jobs. Again, we are here to cover sports. It's what we do. And we're not doing much of that right now. And we're just watching and waiting. And the craziest thing about this whole thing has been just such the rapid speed of information and how it is shared and when it is shared and how it seems to steamroll and snowball. And again, at a certain point, it becomes this inexorable force that is just kind of, again, eating up everything in the sports world right now at one time.
Creighton up 27-26 on St. John's. The one game still going.
Oh, it's wild that is still happening. Yeah. Okay. We'll be